In my last video, I built this chair, and I've been using it ever since then. But the one thing missing is a footrest. And I actually started designing that, or at least thinking about it, while I was building the chair. And in this video, I'm going to be building one. Most of my build videos start at the beginning of the project, but this one's going to be a lot different from that. I'm actually going to start somewhere near the middle because I had to do a lot of figuring and trial and error before I could even get close to a mechanism that would work. And I actually have the first one made, and that's what I'm putting in the chair right now. When I designed and built the chair to begin with, I made it so that it would be easy to take apart. Because I know me, none of my projects are ever truly finished. Now, I just didn't start doing this out of the blue. Like I said, I did a lot of planning, and what helped out a lot was being able to print the mechanism at 50% scale just to test it to see how it would work, or at least this part of it. I know what you're going to say, the wood split. Yes, it did, but it doesn't really matter because I'm going to be able to fix that. I'm going to have to take this mechanism out again to do more work with it. So now that I have that in the chair, I can go back out to my workshop and start working on the mechanism for the other side. There are two mechanisms that I need to make. They're identical but mirrored. One is opposite to the other. And it starts with some work that I actually did before. So I've got parts from that first mechanism here that I'm copying over for the second one. And this would be that mounting bracket that was painted black that you saw. And this has to have a slot in it that's on an angle. And the easiest way to do that is to temporarily fasten a taper onto the edge of the plywood so it cuts that angle. And then I'll make a series of passes with the saw to hog out all that material. And as you can see, the drawer slide fits right in there. While that was happening, I was making parts on the 3D printer. This is all gear driven, and two of the gears ride on racks that attach at different points and make it so that the footrest mechanism slides out. In the build video for the chair, I had a few comments from people about the way that I made the dowel. So I need another dowel for this, and I thought I would show it again. Except I'll get it a lot closer now so you can see exactly what's going on. This is a 3/4 inch dowel that links the two mechanisms together. It goes right across the chair. And after a little bit of suggestive sanding, it's ready to bring back down to my listening room and get it put in place. But to do that, I need to cut notches in the seat brackets to clear it. And while I can take those parts off, bring it out to the shop and cut it out there, it's a lot easier to leave the thing together and just do it manually. And there's a collar that slips on that has teeth in it that engage with this gear, and another collar on the other side with more teeth that engage with it on the other side. In order to turn that shaft, I need a hand wheel. So it's back out to the workshop to make one of those. This is 3/4 inch Baltic birch plywood, and I'm laying it out with a hole pattern, mainly for decoration. A feature of my drill press is the fence that clamps onto the edge of the table, and the benefit of that is that it's fast and easy to take off. Now I can drill all those holes, and I need to round over the edge of the wheel to make it, nicer to grip. And I'm also going to slightly chamfer the inside edge of those decorative holes and then sand the whole thing. And much like the chair, I'm pre-finishing all these parts before I put them on. Now back to the printer again, and I'm printing a hub for that wheel, except this one didn't work. I changed the design after I tried to put it on here, and it would go on, but it would be very difficult to fasten. So I designed this new part that is bigger, and it has those teeth that engage with that gear on the end, and that gets screwed to the shaft before the wheel goes on. And to tie the wheel to the hub, I made this cap that screws into the hub and also screws to the wheel. It's a little bit stiff right now, but it will loosen up over time. So now that I have that first mechanism all worked out, or mostly worked out anyway, I can print the parts for the other mechanism. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm printing these from PETG, and they seem to be up to the task, but in the future I would like to one by one replace these gears with ones made from Baltic birch plywood with white oak teeth. Now back out to the workshop again. Like I said, we'll be bouncing around here, and I'm making the rest of the cuts on that bracket for the mechanism for the other side. Get those done and all the sanding done as well before drill this hole for that rod that links the two sides together. The part that I'm working on now is a piece of white oak that's a 1/2 inch thick. And that's where all those gears go. It's the part that actually flies out when you rotate the wheel. And to make laying out the gear spacing as accurate as I possibly can, I 3D printed this template that will allow me to mark the holes. And this smaller one marks the hole for the other drive shaft that comes through that drives those gears. Then I can bring it over to the drill press and drill out all those holes. I motorized my drill press last year, and it's one of my favorite projects. It's so handy being able to reach over and touch that switch to make it go up and down. This hole here is big. It's 1 3/4 of an inch. It's for the gear that goes on the end. And what I'm doing here is something I actually forgot to do on the other one, and I actually forgot to do it on this one as well. These need to be countersunk for the heads of those axles so that they'll go down inside flush. They won't be sticking up. Here's that big gear with that big shaft that goes in that big hole. And here are all of the other gears. Now what I'm doing here is making a mistake. This is the slot I'm cutting, and this is the piece that I'm cutting to fill that slot because I cut it on the wrong side. So I'll glue that in and I'll recut that after it dries. In the meantime, more 3D printing to print more gears, more parts. And in total, I used a full 1 kilogram spool of PETG. So back to that notch, and I can finish cutting that out and make it nice and smooth. The mounting bracket needs a plate on the bottom so I can screw it down to the stretcher in the chair. That's what I'm putting on here. Putting on some glue. I'm going to drive in some brads to hold it until I get some screws in there. I let the glue dry, and I brought it out and I painted it black just like the other one. And now I can do some final assembly. The drawer slide back in, get it fastened to the strut that projects out. And get some other parts that I printed put in. This is a bushing for that shaft that goes across. And this one is for the drive axle that links the bigger gear on one side to the smaller gear on the other. And as you can see, all of this clears nicely. The gear that I have here is actually fixed in place so it can't turn. But what it does is it makes the gears turn on the link between the footrest pad and the strut. so that the pad will rotate up in position, and you'll see that later. This gets fastened from the other side, so I need to take off one of these gears temporarily and finish drilling the holes. And I also need to countersink them so that the screw heads will clear. But in the meantime, I'll put a temporary screw in there so I can drill the other 2 holes accurately. Now here are the screws, but I can't put this in yet because I need another part first. It's the link that I mentioned a few seconds ago, and I could have made this just a regular oval, but I decided to fancy it up a bit by making it this shape. The main thing is that the hole spacings for the gears are accurate, and once again I printed a template so that I can lay those out. Now that goes on, and another 3D printed template. This one is for drilling the holes accurately so that they'll line up perfectly with the holes that are already in that big gear. And that gets screwed on, and you can see how it rotates there. Now I can get that fixed gear screwed in place and put back that other gear. Now this is the gear in the shaft that drives the array of gears on the other side of the strut. And this is one of the gears that meshes with those racks that I printed in the beginning. And here you can see how that works. The other 2 racks go on the strut itself and meshes with the main drive gear that's operated by that hand wheel that deploys the strut. Now I can get everything put in on this side again. And I also had to raise the seat up 3/4 of an inch to give me enough clearance here. This is all very tight to fit underneath the chair, but 3/4 of an inch doesn't affect the seating position at all. I didn't even notice it. Now here's the other gear on the other end of that shaft. And once again, that gets fastened in place. And then this little cap on the end is screwed right into the end of the shaft. And I put some super glue on there afterwards to glue it onto that gear. The parts that I'm printing here are just decorative. I decided that the hand wheel looked a little bit too boring, so I made a rim that goes around the outer edge just to dress it up a little bit. Now with both sides put in, I can give it a try. And yes, it's working. The next challenge is to make it so that the footrest pad has the right geometry. And I actually had to do a lot of messing around here that I'm not putting in the video because I changed this top gear 3 times to get the right amount of movement here. And the one that I ended up with is 2 teeth smaller than the one that I started with. But I didn't want to remake that link part, the plywood part. So what I did instead was I made an offset axle shaft, printed it in 2 pieces so that it fit in the hole, and glued together in there. Thing about this is, though, it needs to be kept stationary. It can't rotate. So I also printed this cap that glues onto the end, and that'll keep it from turning. Now here's the smaller gear put on. The original gear had a hub, but I couldn't do that with the smaller gear, so I printed it separate, and I'll glue that on after. Now we're back out to the workshop again because I need to start working on the footpad itself. This is end caps that are plywood, like everything else I've done here, and they're rounded over and chamfered and sanded smooth. And the footpad itself is made up of 3 pieces of plywood. These are actually pieces that are very much like the first ones that I made, except they'll be inside. And I need slots in these so that they'll link in with that plywood footpad. Now here's a handy tip you might not know about for spray glue like this, and it's about cleaning the tip. I just use a piece of tape and it cleans off the old adhesive. The footpad is foam on both sides and also gets covered with the 1-inch polyfill. Now the cover for it is once again the black vinyl, and that couldn't have been simpler. It's just a piece of material cut in a rectangle and sewn along one seam to make like a tube. But it would be very difficult to get this on that footpad without this plastic bag. And even then it was a bit of a struggle because you wanted a nice tight fit on these things. After I had it in and put it in the right position, I pulled out the bag again. That doesn't need to be in there. And then staples, lots of them. It almost looks like a professional did this. So the only thing left is to bring it in and get it installed on the chair. And the parts that I'm putting on here are the output brackets that I mentioned earlier. They have slots in them so that I can adjust the angle of the footpad. Also, the timing of all this can be adjusted by moving the gears. Now you might be wondering, are these gears strong enough? And I've been using this thing for about a week and it's held up just fine. Although, like I said earlier in the video, my intention is to replace all of these gears with wooden ones that I'll make on the CNC. Now, how cool is that? Because the pad rotates out the way it does, I have to lift my legs, of course, but that's not a big deal. Now, you might be watching this and say, wait, how can that be a footrest when your feet are not even close to it? But it actually works in another position. And I just discovered this when I tried it for the first time.